Yo, what's up, everybody? Today is a casual day. I'm still here in Cabo San Lucas, and I hope that the sound of the crashing waves behind me is as soothing for you as it is for me. So today, I want to just chat about a lesson in trust that has made me billions. If you don't know this, I've spent this past week with my clients in two programs, in my proximity program and also in my Next Level Authority Mastermind program. And a lot of things have been coming up just about trusting ourselves. And, as I look at my own journey in entrepreneurship and getting to where I am today, this weekend was just really a pinnacle moment for me. It was like a circular moment of remembering all the times where I had events where there was only 3 or 4 people in the room, and to be in a room where there was now 30 people who had traveled across the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean, who had gotten in planes to be in a room to learn from me and to be with me and to expand alongside of me, was just a really special moment for me. And so I want to talk about something that I deal with or have dealt with often, that I see my clients deal with often, that I think would support you in your growth journey. Now, you may not be on a journey to millions. I know many people who are a part of my world are. No matter what your revenue goals are for your business, this may support you, and just getting a little bump of growth or a level of expansion up into that next level. So welcome, and let's just hang out for a few minutes. And then I just wanted to let you know that I do have 2 invitations that I want to make to you a little bit later on, after I get through some of this. Something really, really special is coming up that I'm super excited about, and I want to give you guys an offer into Play Big as well. So here's where I want to start. The thing that comes easiest for you, the thing that it's easiest for you to support and help other people with, is usually the same thing that causes you to doubt yourself. It's also usually the same thing that you don't consistently do for yourself or do in your own life. And it's also a place where you may feel like something's missing for you around that. And you may find yourself saying things like, I can do this for other people, but I can't seem to do it for myself, right? It's also usually the same thing, the thing where you hold the most power. It's usually the same area where you compare yourself to other people, that you question the speed at which you're moving through it or creating results around it, or the bigness of your own results. And so again, I started off by sharing, just having my retreat this weekend and having, 30 clients fly here to be with me. And I remember leading retreats where there was only a couple of people in the room, but also having thoughts in my mind that, who's going to get in a plane? And I'd go in a plane to go meet my mentors, but I think, who's going to be in a plane to meet me? Who's going to do that? So I'll just keep my stuff local and, try to get the local people that are around. And here I am today, of course, some years later, and wherever I'm going, my clients are like, okay, I'm there, I'll make it happen. Whether it's them flying to Palm Springs with me, because I run an international company. I have clients all over the world. I have clients in Europe and clients in Asia, and I have clients in Canada and in the United States and in India. So I have clients all over the place, Pakistan. And sometimes it's surreal for me to realize that I'm serving globally, being the gift that I am, like just being myself, just doing what I do. And it really does come so easily for me that sometimes I second guess whether it's enough. And so I know that that's something that most people who are brilliant at what they do struggle with. And so I want to share just a little tip, something that I've done that has shifted me, that allowed me to get to the point where I am today. And so it doesn't matter how amazing everybody else tells you you are, or how powerful the transformations that your clients are experiencing from you are because of your brilliance. What will happen is, if you are really brilliant at it, you'll likely find yourself either striving for perfection over it, or you'll find yourself second guessing whether it worked. Like I put together my whole agenda for the retreat and I was thinking, is this going to cause the transformation that I desire for it to cause? And just the feedback that we got, because for me, it's so simple to lead in this way. I feel like I have to overcomplicate it with slides and all these other things. And I like to just show up and lead in the way that I lead, and to get the feedback from my clients of the breakthroughs that they have been having as a result of the process that we went through this weekend is really powerful. And it's grounding for me because I still struggle with this sometimes. Here's the thing. Because you know that you are meant for big things, this is where the questions come from, because your now doesn't match your future. And you're like, when? Like, when is it going to be 100 people in the room? When are people going to get in a plane and follow me? When am I going to have a full roster of clients? I wanted 10 people in the program and I only have 2. I wanted 30 in the program. We only have 15. These are the cycles of entrepreneurship, right? You have to grow the thing. I can't tell you how many times people show up in my world and maybe they just want to have a conversation with me in Messenger. Maybe we are having a sales conversation and they'll lead with this, I'm planning a 6-figure launch. And I'm like, that's not really how it works. Because I used to be that person who thought if I do all the things and put all the ducks in a row, then when I launch this thing, when I open the doors, we're going to make 6 figures. And now I can do that because I have the data, right? And so when your now doesn't match what you know you're capable of, right? When you feel like you're not accomplishing anywhere near what you're capable of, you're in this dichotomy of, I know I'm meant for great things, but what I see with my eyes doesn't match that. And it can cause you to second guess yourself. It can cause you to show up as a less than powerful version of yourself, which then becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I want to give you something today. Like you're in this space where you're like, I want it now. You're like Veruca Salt, right? I don't care how. I want it now. I feel like I can handle it now. And so I want it to show up now. Here's what I've been learning, recovering, right? As a recovering perfectionist, as a recovering, like, got to get it done, driven person. How can I make this happen faster? What can I do to create the reality that I desire to have? Recovering from that and allowing, right? And leaning into trusting God and trusting the process and all of those things. Who has said all of those things to myself. Like I've doubted my own genius, all of those things. Here's what shifted for me. Here's what has shifted for me. You know, as I looked across the room at the 30 people who were there, who had traveled across oceans to be in the room with me this weekend, my mind flashed to the events that I had with 4 people in the room and my mother. 3 people in the room and my mother, 12 people in the room and my mother. My mother was always at those events. If you look at the pictures, I have the pictures. I think I'm going to post that maybe tonight or tomorrow. I'll grab them all so that you can see these events and I'll point out my mom in them. Now I look at the pictures and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what I had in my heart. And then yet there's still more, right? Using a golf course instead of a hotel, you know, a food bill that was a couple of $100 as opposed to being tens of thousands of dollars, which is what we have now. And here's the lesson for me, right? Here's what I learned or felt as I was sitting in that moment in the room. No matter where you are on your journey, in this moment, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. And what God has for you is for you. This is the gift that I gave myself years ago that shifted the pressure that I put on myself to perform. What I began to do is to acknowledge what I have. So I meet so many people who, you know, maybe you do an event and there's only 3 people, or you have a program and there's 1 person who signs up. You don't celebrate. You don't acknowledge it because it's not what you wanted. What I started to learn how to do is to be in the now. So that's why I have pictures of events where there was only 6 people. And then I can contrast them against events where I've had hundreds of people, or my client roster where I've had 8 people or 3 people, and contrast those against events where now in my client roster, I have 50 something people in those pictures, because I actually took the pictures when there was only 3 people or 4 people, because I treated it with the same reverence power, authority, respect that I now get to. And it just was my present. So the things that are coming to you are coming. Time and timing is God's. I always say that. So it can be faster than what you believe it can be. It could be longer. But the place you want to be is in trust. And so this is what I wanted to share. This is my trusting my way to millions. So I teach this in my trust masterclass. There's 4 levels of trust. The first level of trust is trusting you. It's it's not really a level, right? There's not in any particular order, but you must trust yourself, right? What comes through you, what moves around you, what you think to post on social media, how you want to run a program. Too often we defer our authority to other people, whether it's our mentors, coaches, gurus, people that write books, and we think their way is the only way. I was having this conversation with my daughter today. We were sitting right here on the couch, and I made a statement about how frustrated I am when people tell you like real wealth moves in silence and different things like that. I'm like, there's many ways to skin a cat, so to speak, right? There are some where moving in silence is powerful for them. And there are some where speaking and prophetically putting those things out there into the world that they want to do, speaking their desires, is actually the thing that catapults them and becomes the catalyst for them getting to where they want to go. And when we start to trust somebody else's definition of what makes you successful over our own knowing about ourselves, we slow down that process. So you want to take back your own authority and trust yourself. When it makes a difference is, are you doing it because of lack, right? Is it a distance? Are you investing in a person because everybody else invests in them? Are you moving in silence because you're afraid you're going to look like a person who doesn't who doesn't have wealth or who isn't doing it right? Are you only going loud because you are doing it out of pretense and trying to prove where you are? That's when it becomes a negative process for you. I always tell my clients, all ways can work. All ways of selling can work. All ways of showing up can work. All ways of running a business can work. You can do funnels or not do funnels. You can run ads or not run ads. There is no one way, but there is your way. And the only way you get to that is by trust in yourself. So trust yourself. Trust the process, because there is one and we all have our own. If you look at anything that is amazing and incredible and beautiful, it has been through a process. And some of those processes take a short amount of time and some of those processes take a long amount of time. I have had the opportunity to be at the Grand Canyon, which is an incredible feat of God's glory. If you've ever stood at the edge of the Grand Canyon and you just look at millions of years of trickles of water streaming through this mountain and creating this massive chasm, it is the most beautiful lesson in timing, and that water, which can be high pressure and hard, but also soft, can still cut through rock in the same way. If you look at diamonds, right? Coal, in order for that coal to be, it's pressure, right? Or heat. There's always something. There's a process that gets you to where you want to go. And we all have our own process. And what is required of us is to trust our process. I have a powerful belief that any path that I am on, no matter how it feels in the moment, whether it feels incredible or it feels not so great, is the most expedient path to where I'm supposed to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be, when I'm supposed to be, and I'm getting to what I desire faster than ever in this moment. Nothing is slower than it's supposed to be. Nothing is a mistake. I don't believe in mistakes. And because I trust the process in that way, when I look up, I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I can show you this. When I turn this around, you can't really see the ocean because the light lights it up. It's a beautiful view. Again, I may take some pictures from my room and post those as well with the pictures of my journey through this process. So trust yourself, trust the process. Third one, trust people. This one was a hard one for me, right? Trusting other people, was difficult because I, in my life, have experienced a lot of betrayal, a lot of hurt. I think growing up younger, I would call myself slightly naive. I'm optimistic. I'm a hopeless optimistic. So I see the good in people. And so there's lots of things, from buying cars to all kinds of things that I felt like maybe I was taken advantage of, because I didn't, I just saw people that way. So over time, I stopped trusting people, and not in a way where I was like, oh, everybody's shady, but I put a wall up around myself. And by putting that wall up, I didn't allow people in. I didn't allow people to see me. Now people walk up to me and they're like, you're just like the most authentic version of yourself. I don't know you, but I can just see how you just are so comfortable in your own skin. It wasn't always that way. And I believe my being comfortable with myself, I said this the other day, I make money by being me. The more I'm myself, the more money I make. It's just the truth. Because I began to trust people again, trust that they won't harm me, because I know what my boundaries are, right? I am a boundary for what I allow and don't allow in my life. Life has become beautiful for me and amazing. They can control them. I can control me, and everything is amazing. Trust that everybody else has their own process, that they are where they're supposed to be, that they're going to respond how they desire to respond. The place that I see this hurt entrepreneurs the most is in the sales process, right? We assume things about people. We assume our audience doesn't have the money to buy. We assume that they won't pay X amount of dollars. We assume they need discounts. We assume that we have to convince them. We assume they're going to have objections. We assume all of these things. And in those assumptions, our behavior with people actually causes the breakdown in communication, where there isn't that level of trust that is required, right? Trust that people will take care of themselves, right? Everybody, my friend Molly Mahoney says this all the time. And I don't know where she got it from. I think she heard someone else say this, and I don't know who it was, but all people, give people the dignity of their own experience. It doesn't have to be like mine for it to be right. So trusting people, trusting that people have their own process. And then the fourth and final one is trusting God. I believe that there is a supreme power that holds all the things in the universe together and is orchestrating in concert with us, right? We're co-creating with God what this life is that we're living, because God gave us free will to make decisions on our own and free choice. And so we're co-creating this life. But if I don't trust that my best interest is at heart, that everything around me is conspiring for my good, is helping me and is working in concert for me to get to where I'm going to go, I will fight against it, thus pushing back the timeline for what I desire to create to come to reality. And so I've learned to lean in. That's why I'm always saying timing is God's. I can't control time at all. But I can control me and what I do and how I show up and what I focus on, right? So trust yourself, trust the process, trust others, right? I always tell my clients, if you don't trust me, we don't have a relationship. I can't support you. I can't mentor you. There's got to be a level of trust that we have with each other, right? So trust others and then trust God. Those are my 4 levels of trust that I've been leaning into for years, that allow me to just lean back and allow the good in life to come my way. So just remember that no matter where you are in your journey, in this moment right now, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. And what God has for you is for you. What is yours is yours. It's coming, boo. It's already on its way. And as long as you don't slow down the process by giving real estate in your mind to opposing thoughts, this doubt, this maybe I'm doing it wrong, maybe people don't like me, that lack of trust in yourself and others and all of the things that I just talked about, or giving away your time to quicksand of fruitless habits and second guessing yourself, second guessing your know-how, your power, your brilliance, it will come faster than you think, right? Instead, what you want to do is you want to keep focusing on the gift that you are. You want to keep focusing on the things that you do well, your superpower. Magnify them. Don't hide them under a light. When I think about learning that song, This Little Light of Mine, hide it under a bushel, no, I'm going to let it shine. It cracks me up because that's how I live my life now. I'm like, no, the supernova that I am, I'm going to radiate as brightly as possible, drawing everything to me that I possibly can. I want to be a light that people can see. and not hide it. And the more I lean into the gifts that I have, where it's just ease and flow for me, the better life gets, the sweeter life gets, right? By doing that, you will find yourself perfectly positioned to help exactly the people you were meant to serve and to fast track all that you desire to create faster than you think is possible. My mind gets blown every day for the life that I get to live. We did some incredible things this week. I've shared them and gone back and forth with like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we got to do this. But like I chartered a private jet and took clients with me. That was incredible and amazing. Like we had our own stewardess. It was incredible. I took clients to a private dining experience at Nobu on the beach. It was incredible. A private Ritz-Carlton spa experience, and then spent 3 days here with my other clients as well. And these experiences I just keep getting to create, but I get to experience them as well. And you're talking about a girl who grew up in the projects. Like my school was in the projects, right? My actual elementary school was in the projects. And so when I think about the life that I get to live now as a result of what I have decided to create and what I'm leaning into and allowing, that's not a life anybody who probably grew up with me thought I'd ever have. It's not a life that I thought I'd have, but I desired. I even had people tell me, you'll never experience anything like that. You'll never live in a neighborhood like that. All of those things. And when I live my life, even walking around this resort where half the people here know my name, like they know my first name by name, it's incredible because it's a wow for me, right? It's a like, I can't believe you get to live like this, girl. And trust has been a huge part of that process, and leaning into the gifting, right? I was telling my daughter when we were having that conversation about people believing and giving their power away to other people, believing that there's only one way to create a thing. Your ways may seem so simple and so easy, you think that it can't be that easy. And the reality of it is I'm a hard worker. I always have been. I'm an implementer. I'm an action taker. And so I would do all the things for years, read all the books, go to all the conferences, implement all the things. And I wasn't able to create what I wanted to create until I began to trust myself, until I began to allow myself to show up exactly how I am. Like, I'm like, look at me today. I've got on my sports bra, my hair's up. I mean, I was like, oh, I usually dress up when I do these things, but this is who I am. Like, this is how I am today. No makeup, nothing. And sometimes I'm working like this, and sometimes I'm working in a do-rag, and sometimes I'm working in, a full face of makeup and dressed to the nines. I can do all the things because it's all a part of who I am. And there are no rules for me about what it has to look like in order for it to convert, or what it has to look like in order for me to be $1 million business owner, what it has to look like in order for me to call in the types of clients that I desire. Because there's an energetic signature to the purity of who you be. There's an energetic signature to the purity of who I be. When you are in that resonant frequency, the people who you are meant to serve will show up in your world. They'll be attracted to who you are. All right. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I told you I had 2 things I also wanted to share. The first one is the next round of Play Big starts July 29th. So here's the deal. In Play Big, I'm going to be taking 30 leaders, showing them how to grow and expand their sales to the next level of sales that they desire. Typically, people who come to that program will do what they did in an entire year in that 90-day period of time or less. It is a beautiful thing to watch. We make a lot of money inside of Play Big. I think the last container, or the container before last, did about $2.5 million, $3 million in 90 days. The container before that did over $1 million in revenue in the last in 90 days. And so we're typically creating a lot of money in a short amount of time, and more money than most people have ever done in their businesses. The money is not the best part, though. It is the person that emerges. That is the golden ticket for the people who come through that program. That program is divinely orchestrated. It is one of the most powerful containers that I've created. It is not a how-to program. It's not a like week 1, you're going to learn this and you're going to know all the things in Shameca's head and you're going to go do it like a robot. No, it's a container that holds you to the highest frequency of your power, that holds you accountable to being the biggest version of yourself. Because here's the deal. You don't need someone to tell you what to do. You know that. But what you need is a mirror reflecting back to you the greatness that you know you already have. What you need is an energetic calibration portal, let's just say it that way, that ensures you don't keep turning on and off your power, fluctuating up and down, falling in and out of your own power. We want you to be on it all the time. Sometimes we hit the gas and we're like, oh, shoot, that's too much. I got to back out off. I want to show you how to hold that frequency all the time. We don't struggle when we're in our highest power. We struggle when we're outside of it or when we're walking beside of it. And so Play Big is the space where you get to tap into that next level version of you that you know is there, but for some reason you can't stay on top of that particular identity. Inside of Play Big, whoever's playing with you, whether it's me, all the women that are walking alongside of you, we only know and see you as that highest version, the most powerful version of yourself. So there are only 7 or 6 spots left. I'm going to say 6. There's only 6 spots left of the 30. The question is one of them yours? And this is how you apply. Message me. You can't get to Play Big any other way. There's no landing page for you to sneak and look at. It is a person-to-person process, application process. There's 2 steps to it. I'll ask you a few questions just to kind of screen and see if getting you to the next phase of that process is for you. And then I'll send you over the details where you get to make the decision once I make the invitation, if it's a yes for you. The one thing that stops most people when they're not ready is the money. So I'm going to tell you what that is right now so that you're not messaging me about how much it is. The investment to do Play Big is $10,500. And there is a payment option available, but it is a 3 pay. So I want you to know that. So it's $9,000 in full, or it's 3 payments of $3,500. That is the investment for Play Big, so that you know before you message me. And what you want to message me is, Shameca, I'm ready to play big. Here's the last thing that I wanted to offer you. Okay. So message me, Shameca, I'm ready to play big. And that is how you get access to Play Big. Let me move all that. I don't want to spend any more time on it. I'm doing something freaking incredible again this year. I'm pulling back out the Cash Creation Crash Course. And so it starts July 12th. So for those of you who are not ready for Play Big, but you're ready to jumpstart the second half of your year, you want to be in the Cash Creation Crash Course. And I'm going to give away some seats. So I'm going to give away the first 50 seats in the next week or so. The doors are open now. So here's what I want you to do. If you want access and you want to be one of those 50, right? What I want you to type is Cash Creation in the chat of this video, and either myself or someone from my team will message you with the details and the secret location for the crash course that is going on July 12th. It is a 1-week crash course. Here's the deal. This is not one of those things where you can jump in, especially if I'm gifting you a seat. You can't just jump in and like, oh, I'm going to watch the recordings. There is a requirement for you to be live with us every day during the crash course. And again, we're going to give you all the details so you can make the decision before you jump in. There's a requirement for you to show up in the container a certain way daily. And we're going to be with each other for an entire week. So it's 7 full days of intentional, focused action. You still have time to make this year your most incredible year ever and your biggest year ever. But most of you don't believe that because you're doing the math and you're like, I'm at the halfway point and I'm nowhere near where I'm supposed to be. Let me tell you this. When I crossed $1 million, I wasn't at $500,000 when I got to June. That's not how this worked. When I crossed my first 6 figures, I wasn't at $50,000 when I got to June. The second half of the year can be magical, but most people energetically take themselves out of it because it doesn't look like what they thought it would look like up until this point. So if you want to jumpstart the second half of your year, you want to type Cash Creation in the chat. Be one of the people to get these first 50 seats that I'm going to be giving away. And we will send you the secret location to the Cash Creation Crash Course. Again, I'm gifting you this. So I'm giving my time to you for free. My requirement in your payment is that you show up fully every day in full power and you do the work that I give you. I'm going to show you how taking simple, focused, intentional action can change the game. Making money in your business does not have to be complicated. I don't know why people think that it has to be. It doesn't have to be complicated. And the little simple things taking you back to basics that I'm going to show you, you're going to make money in like the first 4 days that you're with me. And we're going to keep making money while we're together for the whole week. And the actions that you're going to take with me over that week are going to bring in more money to you over the course of the next few months. It's going to be incredible and powerful, and you don't want to miss it. So type in chat if that's for you. Type in the chat, type in the comments. Give me a response of cash creation, and me and my team will give you the info that you need to be one of the first 50 that I'm giving seats away to. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. I have made record timing. I have done a 30-minute freaking live stream. And I can't believe that has happened. But I'm going to go hang out at the beach today. And so I wanted to make sure that I hung out with you guys today because I skipped you last week. I just did a quick live stream. I hope today's message about trusting yourself to millions helped and inspired you and encouraged you for where you are in your journey. It took me 12 years to cross $1 million. I know there's so many people around who are like, I started a business and I was at $1 million in my first year or $1 million in 3 years. And we think that has to be us. Even when I celebrate my clients' wins, a lot of my clients have been with me for 2 or 3 years and they're doing 6-figure months. They've been on a journey. Right? There are some who come in and they hit their 6-figure months right away, but a lot of those people are a little bit ahead of the game of most people. So I want to be transparent and honest. We all have a journey. And if you're willing to peel off the layers and really trust the process, you'll get there faster than you ever thought possible. All right, loves, I'm going to take off. Mwah. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching my show, my channel. Here's what I want you to do. If you really love what you've been listening to, I want you to subscribe to my channel and leave me a comment. No, really, leave a comment, like right now. I'm not gonna stop talking until you leave a comment. Seriously, leave a comment.